first time I saw Daniel again, he looked smaller than I remembered, not in height, but in spirit, like time had trimmed down his pride. He stood at the doorway of my bakery, hands trembling slightly, eyes searching for forgiveness he hadn't yet earned. And all I could think was, after everything he did, what could he possibly say now? Before continue, please subscribe our channel and like our video. My name is Eleanor Brooks, and I've lived in Maplewood, Ohio my whole life. I run a little bakery called Sweet Haven, the kind of place where people stop in for cinnamon rolls and stories. For years, I built that place from scratch, literally. 1 oven, 2 hands, and a dream my late husband used to tease me about. He'd say, "Ellie, you'll sugar the whole town before you ever slow down." When he passed, the bakery became my reason to wake up early, my reason to keep going. And it was around that time that I hired Daniel. He was 26, sharp, ambitious, a little lost. Said he'd grown up here but moved away after high school and came back to find purpose. I saw something of my younger self in him, that hunger to prove, that quiet need to belong. So, I taught him everything I knew: recipes, routines, how to greet every customer by name. He called me Miss Ellie, and in some strange way, he became like the son I never had. Business started to bloom again. Daniel brought new life into the place. Fresh ideas, online orders, late nights testing new flavors. I trusted him completely. I even gave him access to the business account, because in my heart, I believed in mentoring through trust. Looking back now, that was my first mistake. It started small. Little things I brushed off. A supplier calling about a late payment. Receipts that didn't match. A missing deposit here and there. Daniel always had an answer. Must have been an accounting glitch, Miss Ellie. Or, oh, I'll fix that right away. Then one morning I came in to find the register empty, and a note sitting on the counter. It said, "I'm sorry. I need this more than you do." No signature. No explanation. Just the smell of burned coffee and betrayal. He'd taken everything. Over $15,000, and my peace of mind. I remember sitting in the back office holding that note, the hum of the refrigerator filling the silence. For a long time, I couldn't even cry. That was the day I stopped trusting easily. The months after that were the hardest of my life. The bakery nearly went under. I had to let go of 2 helpers and work double shifts. My hands cracked from constant washing, my knees ached from standing too long. Customers noticed I smiled less. Some whispered about Daniel, how he'd been seen in Cleveland, working for another bakery, maybe. But it wasn't just about the money. The shame was deeper. It was about being fooled, about trusting someone like family and being used. Bills piled up. I skipped lunches to stretch ingredients. I remember one night, sitting at my kitchen table, sorting through overdue notices, the smell of yeast still on my hands. That night, I prayed, not for revenge, just for strength. People meant well, but pity cuts deep. When I overheard one woman whisper, "She should have known better. It stung more than any unpaid bill." And I told myself, if I ever saw Daniel again, I'd just walk away. But truthfully, I didn't know if I could. A year passed. Then one day, my friend Linda mentioned Daniel's name. She said he was back in town, working odd jobs, keeping to himself, said he looked worn down, like someone who'd lost more than he'd gained. A week later, I found a letter slipped under my bakery door. It read, "Miss Ellie, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need to make things right. Can I meet you?" When I saw his handwriting, my heart clenched. I thought about throwing it away, but something, maybe grace, made me keep it. I didn't reply right away. I needed time. When I finally agreed to meet, it wasn't for closure. It was for understanding. I chose the park across from the church, where I used to walk with my husband. I wore my plain blue sweater, the one that always made me feel grounded. When Daniel arrived, he looked like a man who'd been carrying a mountain. His hair was longer, his eyes sunken, his voice quieter. He brought an envelope. "It's not all of it," he said, "but I've been saving." He pushed it toward me. I didn't touch it. Instead, I asked softly, "Why, Daniel? Why would you steal from the only person who trusted you?" He swallowed hard. "Because I thought I deserved more. I thought you had enough. I was stupid and greedy. And when I realized what I'd done, it was too late to undo it." His honesty didn't erase the pain, but it softened something in me. I told him, "You didn't just steal money. You stole my trust, and that's worth more." He nodded. "I know. I just needed to face you and say it out loud." Then he said something I didn't expect. "I've been working at the community kitchen. I've been baking again. Your recipes. I tell people where they came from. I tell them about you." I looked at him, and for once, I saw no pride, just remorse. He asked if I could ever forgive him, and I said, "Forgiveness isn't a door you walk through once, Daniel. It's one you knock on, until someone opens. Maybe one day I will, but not today." He lowered his head, tears falling onto his hands. We sat in silence, the sound of leaves rustling between us. And when I finally stood, I said, "Do something good with your guilt, Daniel. Make it count." Weeks later, I visited the community kitchen. Daniel was there, serving bread to people who looked like they hadn't been smiled at in a while. He saw me and froze. I just nodded. He smiled, a small, honest smile, and kept working. I didn't take the money from that envelope. I donated it to the kitchen instead. Some debts, I think, are better paid forward. Now, when I think about Daniel, I don't think about betrayal anymore. I think about what it means to face your mistakes, and how sometimes that's the only apology that matters. Life has a quiet way of teaching us, sometimes through pain, sometimes through grace. And maybe forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing peace over bitterness. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more calm, real-life stories about forgiveness, strength, and second chances.